Hello, this is Minecraft, and today I'm going to play Not for Broadcast. So I thought it'd be interesting to play this again. I did a little bit on this back when it first released, but I didn't really talk about it a whole lot because, well, I was laughing too much. It's too funny to me. A little background about myself. I actually did this for a job. I was actually technical director for a TV station for a couple years. Actually worked at the station for about 11. I won't say which because I'd rather not. But a lot of the stuff that I see in this game rings true to me. Granted, this is kind of simplified and whatnot. And I will say this off the bat: if you have issues with cussing or whatever, this is not a game for you. These videos might offend you. Just letting you know. To me, I don't fucking care. Quite honestly, working in news is not a very PC thing, even though they'll do stories about PC culture. So I'm gonna just talk real quick about one little thing, and then we'll get started. So this game is about censorship, which I find funny myself because, well, I'm an American, so in America, sex and language are like two of the big things that are always censored, which is ridiculous to me considering that we could show people getting shot and killed all over the place, no problem. It never makes sense to me. To me, somebody getting killed or maimed or murdered is way worse than seeing a boob or an ass or somebody saying fuck or shit. That's just my opinion. Also, I want to dispel the rumors or what people say about the news. There is a liberal slant in news today. Like, primarily it's more on the liberal side. But I don't believe that's by design. I just think the profession itself tends to attract people that have those views. Don't know why. Maybe it's a creative thing because people who work in news tend to be on the more creative side. That's not saying that there aren't conservative people or whatnot. But in my personal opinion, what news should be, it should be straight reporting. Here's the going back to the basics of news: who, what, why, when, and where. Opinion should never be in there. Ever. Because when you're giving your opinion, you're basically telling people what they should think. And that's a horrible thing. But I don't want to get all into that. I mean, that's my personal views on it. Everybody has different views on it. So I'm just going to jump right into the game. So we'll just name it K. It doesn't matter. So the whole thing is you're basically the director / technical director / audio operator. When I worked, the way things worked, we'd have a crew about like 6 or 7, and they'd have different things. One for the graphics person, one for the audio, one for the technical director, one for the director, one for audio, and then a floor director, and then camera operator. Now they have systems where you can do a lot of this just with one person. So this is kind of similar. So here's my workstation. I gotta pick up the phone here. So we got our camera feeds over here. And this is supposed to be like our preview and then the take on air, but it doesn't quite work that way. They'll show you later.
Hi, David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. All right, mate. Dave here. Listen, I know you've only come in to clean up the place, but I've got a bit caught up, so you're going to have to run the news tonight. Now, don't worry.
Okay.
It's not hard, and I'm going to stay on the phone and help you.
Yeah,
First,
whatever.
I'm going to give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it
So,
Look forwards
got
towards all
my
those
camera
screens.
feeds, blah blah blah.
Look up at the top.
I can do,
That coloured bar is your audience. You want to keep the
yeah.
viewers going up and not down.
Obviously, you wouldn't worry about that.
Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control.
Yeah,
Now, the
that
full
doesn't work like
screen
that. You could
screens on the
always,
left show the
on this
different
screen here,
signals
you could
coming from the
always load
studio,
up what you
and
want to
you can
take to
choose
air.
between them
And then
using
you
the
could just,
numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom
that doesn't
left.
work this way.
Don't worry. I'll talk
Because
you
like,
through it and
as
you'll
soon
pick
as
it
you
up
pick
in no
something,
time.
2 seconds later, it's going to kick over
Have a
here.
look to your left. These plugs control everything in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I've left them set up for you, so provided you haven't fiddled with them, all you have
Again,
to do
none of
now
this
is
crap
throw
would be
the
here.
master trip switch and we're in business. Once you've got
But
the
it's a
power
video
on,
game.
face the front again.
So, turn on the power.
You can see on the broadcast screen that we're in the
Got a
end
sensor
titles
button
for
here.
the show before us. Fortunately, they go on for fucking ages, so there's plenty of time for me to explain. Oh, right, okay, they're over, so we haven't got long now till the broadcast. Right, quickly, mate, look down under the desk.
Okay,
You
well,
can see a load of
throw in some
videotapes
tape.
on the left.
Normally, you have a system that does this automatically.
And load them into the machines on the right. When you've done that, look up to
You
the
go
front
through,
again.
like,
Oh,
the master
that didn't
control
actually
op.
take as long as I thought it would.
We go
So
through
we've
each
got a few
day and
seconds. I suppose
plot
our
out the
audience
commercials
tonight
that we're
is, as I'm
supposed
sure
to
you
air,
know,
given for
election
marketing.
night, which means if we make any mistakes,
And
by which I mean if you make any
they just make
mistakes,
sure everything's
we're
in
getting
line in the
fired. So
computers.
stay on your toes, mate.
Each
You should be
tape
getting
or
a
whatever is
signal any
assigned a
second now.
number. And you just make sure
When you
there's no
get the
missing
signal, select
stuff.
screen one with the
Because if
vision
you miss
mixer.
something,
We're ready to
that's
go.
like $5,000
Prawn and mayonnaise?
if a commercial doesn't run.
I thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody.
This is one thing I do miss, being able to hear banter and stuff between the
5,
broadcasts.
4.
But now, it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main story.
See, it just automatically kicks it over.
Next is going to be the throw to the news titles on screen 2. There'll be a countdown, but I'll count you in as well. Just relax, mate. It's all gravy.
So normally I would load it up on this screen here, and then as soon as he says
Top chat.
take,
Sports fan. Top chat. Popular footballer
You know,
Johnny Hams leaves. Wins
I would go on
sports
there.
personality
There I just made a mistake.
And a spoonful of sugar. Megan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about
But
his new
it seems
movie,
very
The
familiar.
Medicated.
Got my
And, of
coffee,
course, we'll be going
sitting in a
live
dark
to Advance
room.
headquarters
This is how I
to
do
hear
it.
what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic.
Right. Button
That's
2
what's coming up on
in
tonight.
3,
2,
1.
1.
Lovely, mate.
See, this delay kills me.
Throwback to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks
See,
down
I hate that.
and vanishes.
I can't preload. I can't just wait like that. It would make it so much easier. I know why they did it that way. They have to give you some challenge somewhere. And normally your board is very elaborate.
Switch to screen 1 now. Lovely, mate.
But first, the votes are in, and it's a decisive win for Advance. The landslide.
Listen, mate, we often get a bit of interference around this time of night, so keep your eye on the machine on the bottom right. You can move that white dot up and down.
Obviously, you wouldn't have to deal with something like this.
Using the yellow knob or your scroll wheel.
Of a severe lack of actual
This is
policy
just a
and
good
of
idea to give you
the opposition parties
the
are
feeling of
focusing
being
to
like
Advance's
overwhelmed,
overwhelming mandate,
or that you
but
have a
yet to
lot of
hear
stuff
public
going on, because you typically do.
Well, all you've got to do now is play the advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired.
Yeah.
The top is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches
So I just
0,
gotta keep
press
this.
one of the 3 play ad buttons over there at the bottom right. I normally play the first one at the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll
Okay.
count you into it as well, but
Whatever.
keep your eye on the clock.
We'll be going live to Advance HQ.
Now, I
to
like
hear the
how they
company's
have the
success.
live in broadcast,
2, 1, advert.
1 minute back, everybody.
because you could kill the audio.
What's mine?
I would never hear commercials,
I thought I'd ask him about the election.
and just usually listen to the people talking in the studio and stuff like that.
Policy we use with you. I thought that was our little secret.
Also, normally you have a rundown in
I'm
front of
deeply uncomfortable
I would
with
have a
Belgian
rundown in
French.
front of me that would have a list of every exact thing I was gonna do.
Wicked. We've made it to the first ad break. You're doing great, mate.
Every camera move, every camera shot, every video that I was gonna throw to would be plotted down to the second.
To keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to always doing the talking.
Now, the way they do this interviews, these segments are pretty accurate,
10
though.
seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting.
It's not.
3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience will see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine.
This is funny because you do get a lot of people. I've seen freakouts. I've seen people. The funniest thing I've ever seen was like a circus performer
Try and stay ahead, mate.
that was on stilts.
We're coming back from
On
the break.
air, they fell.
Quiet in the studio.
We immediately cut the
Thank you so
commercial.
much.
It was hilarious.
10 seconds, everybody.
I did feel bad for the person though.
Going in 5.
So we're gonna go to him and then her.
3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News.
You see
Later,
that
we'll be
pause?
hearing from
You
shock
would.
election winners
I would get
advance.
reamed by the
But first
director
up,
for that.
Go to Megan on screen 4.
Megan Wolf is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan,
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right,
to
go
the
to
shop
Blunderclatch on screen 3 when she says his
joined
name.
today by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my dear.
Go to 3, go to 3.
Today is among
Switch to 2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among
See
ours.
this
Right, now just try and stay whoever's talking.
Latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
delay kills me.
Yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter at the wrap,
But the flow of it
Peter Jensen,
is right.
Give us a look at Megan's reaction.
wonderful
Lovely.
guy.
Now back to Thunder Twat.
I've worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. And do you know what, Megan? I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am
But
I
I
right
have
in
played
saying
this
that
before,
the
so
character you played
it's
in this
pretty
movie is
simple.
Quite an academic one.
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you
The
implying?
delay. Oh man, it just
Seriously, yes, you're right.
it irritates me
was
to
a
no
complete
end.
departure from my last
Because it's
starring
just-
role. When I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was the true story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpassed all. A love, of course, for freedom.
The
I think it's
reactions
grossed over $1 billion.
just kill me.
So, let's see who's counting.
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of you to mention it, but I really am not in it for the awards. Although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
Do they?
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you?
Oh, it's integrity, I'm sure.
That is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's audience.
Come on, push in.
I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes.
Camera person
I do it
sucks.
for the people that I
Been on that
inspire,
shot a bit long.
the little people.
Shut up.
But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election?
So normally, yeah, you just, you know, always go on the person talking,
Well, now you're
try to get
asking.
reaction
Historic
shots,
election result.
try to watch out.
Indeed,
See,
historic
somebody
is the
moved
word.
there.
Difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But,
Oh, shut
I
up.
think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive.
And the other thing is that you don't
not
have.
fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do it again.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the
From
break.
The Medicated, which opens next week.
So yeah,
Swap the shot of
normally you're on a
Jeremy
delay.
for VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look.
So now I got interference going again.
Watch out for that interference, mate. Looks like Blunderclatch is losing it in the studio. I'd love to hear what he's saying,
You think I don't know that?
Oh. See, this sucks. I can't hear what they're saying. Normally, you could isolate the audio.
Dr. Lance to you, Miss
But for some reason, the way it is, you only can hear it when you switch over, which is weird.
Change the world, you know?
So I'm kind of screwing up on purpose just because.
You told me, but I didn't listen.
Doctor,
I'm drowning, Lance, you said.
you need to see this.
Well, like I said, you would have a rundown. You would never, ever not knowing what is going to happen next. I mean, that is super, super important. One of the worst things you can do is go into a broadcast and not have an idea of what's going on.
This is the key.
I've actually been.
You'll want to play another ad.
Shut up.
Use the clock at the top to count you in.
I've been in broadcasts where the director actually took over the broadcast from the producer because the producer didn't know what the hell they were doing. Normally, the director doesn't really run the broadcast.
Right, I guess I better explain how to deal with bleeping out swear
He
words.
kind of
As you
does.
probably
He
noticed,
controls
the
what's
broadcast
going on in the
here
room.
is about
He's
2
kind
seconds
of.
behind the master screen. Here, when someone says a naughty word, the bleep button
Yeah,
lights
whatever.
up like this. 2 seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button or the space bar on your keyboard for as long
Shut
as the swear
up.
word lasts. It can take a bit of practice getting used to hearing 2 things at once. Just stay calm and you'll get it. And if you can't tell when to bleep, just above the button, you'll literally be able to see the sound scrolling by. All you gotta do is hold it down while the red bit is over the red line. Simple. Of course, if you do it by eye, you'll have to take your eye off the screens. That's why real professionals do it by ear.
So he's saying that you would hear 2 at once. You would not do that. You would be on a delay. And you usually have 2 people. You, like the master control can also do that too. Cut out the audio.
You won't be able to time your bleeps.
Oh, God.
Good. You're set to start censoring. Like I say, it takes a little practice, but I'll try and help you through it, and soon we'll have you bleeping like a pro.
Totally not
Remember,
realistic.
Button lights up, count 1, 2, and
Apparently,
hold
he's
it
been
down.
drinking since lunchtime.
Remember to select
so
screen
online
1 now that
version
you've got the feed.
God help whoever has to
Don't
bleep
wait
this.
for the broadcast
10
to go
seconds,
live.
everybody.
That's
And
too
a
late.
1 and a 2.
So now-
Use the number buttons on your
Seriously,
keyboard.
had
One,
that.
two,
Shut
5,
up.
4, 3.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advance Headquarters.
All
Where
right.
the 2 leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
oh shit, it's pissed.
Shall I start?
Go for it, Pat.
This is so
Thank you all
funny.
for coming. And, well, where do I start? What a day.
They said we couldn't do
They
it.
certainly did.
They used every dirty, low-down, lying, southern bastard trick they had against us. But you, the people, you saw right through their shit.
This is so
I'm
funny.
sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebratory pints. Makes me coarser than a granny's fanny.
Memorably put.
Nailed it.
But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, you've heard us say that Advance are not a political party.
I'm gonna let him
A party's what you
slip
have
through.
when things are going well. When the country is suffering, you don't need a party. You need a team. A team that can change things. But today is day 1 of a new future. A better, fairer future.
Is it?
So perhaps we should all
The
be
guy
celebrating.
is so
Except for the rich.
pissed
For them, the
off
party's
drunk.
over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening their dusty chest.
Again, harshly put, but not inaccurate. Before we came out here to address the nation, we used our executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act.
You would never let somebody on air like
A
this.
definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
Although we've had,
You know this.
I've seen an anchor
Because the likes of you and me are
totally not
welcome in
be
their
ready
gated
to be on air.
communities.
That was
Tomorrow,
totally out
we'll
of
be
it.
Introducing a sweeping reform of the tax
It was
system in this
hilarious.
country.
Happened
No
more
hiding
than once.
wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting.
They go to lunch, come back, they're
Simpler,
drunk.
fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So, all you bastard
You know.
public school snobs have got nowhere to hide. And earlier today, we revoked your passports. You want them back? You want to leave like you threatened before the election? That's fine. But first, you're going to pay up. You're going to pay back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals into a team.
I've seen.
To properly fund health
Oh
and
man,
education,
this brings back so many
to raise the
memories.
living standards of us
So I haven't
all.
done this job in like a couple
Said
years.
we'd have to raise billions, but you'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours. That's absolutely.
It's a pretty simple
shite.
job,
So
honestly.
to you posh twats,
The people who pay you a pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs. The people whose children you raise.
so they've got time to get even fucking richer.
Advance have this to say to you.
It ends today.
We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put the wealth
I don't
of this
worry about
country
getting
back
an
where
A.
it should have always been.
It's too
In
funny
the hands of the people who
not to.
created it.
It ends today.
Yes, it ends today. And tomorrow, we'll start making it fair again. Just like we promised we would.
It's funny
And
when you
until
do that,
then,
when you
ladies and
watch
gents,
back.
I suggest we all get pissed.
Can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Well, an interesting acceptance speech there from
Yeah, it was.
and our apologies for the fruity language. Hopefully
Fruity
we've got that
language, you
moved
wouldn't
out for you
say
in
it
time.
that way.
If not, someone's going to be in trouble. So, as the country braces
That
itself
hits
for new
home.
government,
That
that's
hits
all
home
from us
because
this
I got
evening at
fired
the
for making
National
too many
News.
mistakes.
We'll be back tomorrow with full coverage of the first day under Advance.
That's a whole other
I'm Jeremy
story.
Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
And we're
Looks
out.
like you've got
Good
it
job,
now.
everybody.
Thanks for
Send
the
it
help,
through.
mate. I've
All
got to
hands
go.
on the board.
Ferry's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back. Job's yours, mate.
So
Boring politics then.
This is some weird fever
That
dream.
was the
Am
end
I
of that
dying
segment.
now or something?
You should be
so I'll record more.
I'll see you tomorrow
They've
night.
added
Not
some
coming
more
for a drink?
DLC
No,
to
got a
this.
date.
Try
I
not
have
to get
beat this
murdered.
game before. It's pretty simple. So, you know, it's fun. Didn't do too well, but whatever. You know, I don't really understand the grading on this. Like, what's it for?
Most people come into the archive room when they're done with a broadcast. That way you can see what you did and how it looked to the
Shut
public. As you can see,
up.
there's 3 sections to the archive. Broadcasts, that's what you put out. Rushes, which is all the stuff that was on all the screens.
It just never shuts up.
Adverts, which is any advert that you've chosen to show. So let's have a look at the broadcasts.
Huh. Just won't let you. Huh?
On the left, you can see all the broadcasts that you've done. You can also
In a
get
few
to hear from
moments,
the
we'll
main
be going
menu if you
live
don't
to
actually
tonight's
want to do a
National Nightly
broadcast. You
News.
just want to see
But
some
before
of your
that, let's take a look at what's coming up
Select
later on
any
tonight
of
on
those
Channel
and
1
click load tape.
at 7 o'clock. It's the
So,
second channel of the quotation game.
He's just gonna blabber on that you
Quiz
can
tonight
rewatch this
as a
stuff.
team of nuclear physicists
And
take on 4 old ladies from East Grinching.
I
That's
will
followed at 8
I will go
PM by-
back once we're done and do the broadcast again, so you can watch it without me
Click on
talking.
Rushes and let's have a look at those.
Jesus.
Okay, these 4 screens, they're exactly the same as the 4 screens that feed you the studio signal when you're doing the actual news.
You wouldn't
The
have this
difference here is
actually.
You can mute any screen you like or any combination of screens, and you can have a listen to what was going on behind the scenes.
So
Just select any segment, that's any bit between
Shut
breaks over
up.
on the left, and hit play. When you're done checking out the backstage secrets, hit play.
Prawn and mayonnaise.
You know, Susie
So,
makes me cry.
I think what this is
but
for
like,
is so you could rewatch them and kind of get an idea of what's gonna like the flow of it. Again, you wouldn't have it that way. So, all right. So, like I said, I've done this job for a while. Seen some very interesting stuff. But most of it was behind the scenes. I've seen producers blow up, totally lose their shit, throw their run down, stomp on the table, and stuff like that. Everybody in the room is just like looking at them. And meanwhile, you're putting on a broadcast on air. There could be total, that's the one thing. There's total chaos, and that's what they try to emulate on this. There could be total chaos behind the scenes, but you would never know it if you're doing your job right. I've actually had boards go down on me, just all kinds of stuff, but I'll talk about that later. Anyway, my name is Minecraft. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.